皆さん、また来てくださってありがとうございます。こちらは雨がパラパラ寒いマンハッタン、ニューヨーク、土曜日の朝です。ということでね、今日のね、動画はね、今ほんと狂ったアメリカになってしまっていて、なんかぐちゃぐちゃって情報が、錯綜しているっていうことなので、トランプさんの、いつもなんか元気が出るので、トランプさんの動画を載っけてみたいと思います。もともとね、私、またね、個人エピソードになるんですけど、トランプさんが、すごく叩かれていて、私もそういう感じでも、この人政治家できるのっていう感じの頃に、2016年の時に、彼がね、こう言ったんですよね。あなた方はね、日本のパールハーバー、真珠湾攻撃を、もうね、常々何かあったら引き合い出して言うけど、あれっていうのは戦争の中での奇襲攻撃であって、決して武器を持たない市民を攻撃したものじゃないんですよって。それをこんなに憎んで何度も言うくせに、武器を持たない善良な市民を朝一から攻撃したテロには何も言わないんですか？政府はそれを阻止できなかったんですよって、それに怒るべきでしょって言った時に、私は本当だなと思ったんですね。で、この人すごいなと思ったんですよ。それがちょっとトランプさんを見直して、やっぱり民主党の戦争をやりたい側と、アメリカにも戦争を止めたい側がいるんだなっていうことを思ったんですね。で、情報機関っていうのは我々お金を払ってるわけですから、毎日それのために仕事をしている人たちが、それを怠ったっていうことに対して、そしてそれをハンドルできなかった政府を許しちゃいけないんじゃないっていう、テロなんだよっていうことを、テロは戦争じゃなくて、ただの人殺し犯罪者集団なんだっていうことをおっしゃってたんですね。で、それをやらせちゃったと。それを防げなかったっていうことに対して、これを忘れるべきじゃないっていうことを言ってたんですよ。で、本当にそうだなと思っていて、だから私はロシアのウクライナ、それから、今回のイラン、イスラエルも、これ以上善良な市民を殺させちゃいけないっていうことを常にトランプさんは言ってて、私もそうだと思うんですよ。だから、どっちかについて歴史的なこういうことがあるから、殺されても仕方がないとか、そういうことって絶対にあっちゃいけないと思ってるんですね。で、それを煽ってる人がいて、で、自分たちだけ漁夫の利というか、自分たちには被害がないし、傷つかないし、死なないけど、いくらでも市民は死んで、自分たちはその戦争が長引くことで利益を得る人がいるワーマンガーって言われる人たちがいて、その RFK さん前上げた動画でいくと、常に365日いつでも戦争を起こせる火種を持っていて、それを理解している。そしてそこに絡んでお金を稼げる政治家の人が世界中にいるっていうことだったんですね。だから本当にね、これ私はいち早くただ大きな戦争にならないことと収めることっていう、それだけを願って今回このテロリストには屈しないっていうトランプさんのコメントを出します。どうぞ。
Embarrassing day in the history of our country. The press doesn't talk about it. The media doesn't talk about it, but we talk about it. Most embarrassing day in the history of our country. Crooked Joe must take back and freeze the $6 billion right now. Take it back and freeze it, Joe. Freeze it, Joe, you dumb person. Dumb person. Freeze that money, Joe. He doesn't know what the hell money I'm talking about. Freeze it, Joe. You know, it's not too late because supposedly it's doing a transfer and that takes a little while. He can freeze the damn money. What they did is unacceptable. In addition, Biden must immediately halt all funding to corrupt Palestinian entities that support these savage terrorists, which, if you remember, I stopped it because we were paying them about $750 million a year to the Palestinians. And they were really nasty. They were saying that death to America, death to America! And I heard about this. I said, are we actually paying them money? Yes, sir, we have for many years, sir. How much? About $750 million to the Palestinians. That's a lot. And I said, if they say anything again, we immediately stop it. Within about 2 minutes, they happen to say something, you know. Death! We want death for America. We want death for Israel. And so I stopped the money. And we would have had a deal with them too, because I stopped the money and I said, until we have a deal, I'm not negotiating. And I moved the embassy. That set them off a little bit, but they were okay with it. You know, remember when I did that? Every president promised they were going to put the embassy in Jerusalem. Every single, for decades and decades. Clinton said it, Bush said it, everybody said it. Nobody did it but me. Nobody did it but me. Because, you know, I was called, once I got to office and once they heard we were even thinking about it, I was called by every leader in the world practically. Please don't do it, sir. I tell them I'll call them back on Monday. And that deal about the embassy going to Jerusalem, because, you know, I could see why the other presidents didn't do it, because it was tremendous pressure. And you know what? There was no problem with it. Everybody said, oh, it's going to be a disaster. No problem with it. But I kept my word. I said I was going to do it, and I got it done, Larry, right? So we got it done. There wasn't any games. And when I'm back in the White House, we will cut off every penny of Palestinian terrorists.
All right, joining me now, the 45th President of the United States, who wants to be the 47th, President Donald Trump. Thanks, Mr. President.
Hello, Brian.
So first off, on the quick-moving events, now we know over in Israel that 22 Americans have been killed. At least 17 are thought to be missing and may be held as hostages in Gaza. Mr. President, if you were president right now, how would you get them back? How would Hamas pay the price? Or do you sit behind Israel?
Well, Brian, I have to preface it by saying that it would have never happened. Zero chance. Just like Ukraine would have never happened with Russia. This would have never happened. We had Iran in a very weakened state. We were sanctioning everybody and fighting with everybody. You can't do business. And China wasn't buying oil. Nobody was buying oil. And Iran was a very poor country at that point. And now they're a very rich country because of Biden, because for the last 3 years, they've made a fortune. And the $6 billion is a lot, but it's peanuts compared to the $100 billion a year they make on oil. And they're very rich. They were a very poor country, and now they're a very rich country. And they're the ones leading this whole situation. And you have a big problem on your hands, and Israel has a problem like they never envisioned. This could have never happened under the Trump administration, Brad.
But right now, Mr. President, if you were in control, if you were in the Oval Office, what would you do to get our people back? What would you do for retribution for the 22 dead?
You are going to have to be, and I have to preface this by saying I don't like telling you exactly what
Understood.
I would do, because if I do, you're basically doing exactly what Biden does. He was saying we don't want to be attacked from the north, meaning through Hezbollah, with Hezbollah. They don't want to be attacked from the north. That would be terrible because that's the vulnerable point. And I say, why are they saying all of these things? We don't want to be stupid people and tell, but I will say that this is all being caused by Iran. Iran is making a fortune, as I told you. They went from not making money with their oil to making a fortune. China wasn't buying. Nobody was buying. I said, if you do any business with Iran during this period of time, we would have had a deal with Iran within 1 week after I won the presidency. That horrible day didn't take place. That horrible result that was disgraceful, a disgrace to our country. It'll go down in infamy when you look at what's happened to our country since then. Brian, it's all coming through Iran, and Obama he doesn't want to talk about it. He doesn't want to he doesn't even mention them in his statements. It's all coming through Iran.
But you mean President Biden. So, but right now...
I also mean Obama.
What do you mean?
I mean Obama and Biden, but Obama is Biden's boss, in case you didn't really know that.
You believe you believe President
Obama?
Obama?
My opinion, the boss. I don't think Biden knows what's happening. To be honest with you, I think that Obama is calling these shots, and he's always felt this way about Iran. There's no question about that. No, I think Obama and Obama's people certainly are calling the shots, not Biden.
ということで、興味深いコメントがあったので載っけます。どうぞ。